Hey guys, Sydney Gwynn here today to break down one of the most challenging parts of auto detailing, which is cleaning your glass properly. So in today's video, I'm going to use the items that I have in front of me on the table. However, you will be able to utilize these skills with whatever you already have in your arsenal. I'm going to be using P&S TrueView, which is a glass cleaner. We're going to dilute some Absolute Rinseless Wash into an IK sprayer kind of as a pre-wash for the exterior. I've got an Eagle edgeless towel, the clay scrubber, and then a microfiber sponge and the FTW. So to start, I need to get my Absolute spray bottle ready. So I'm going to use Absolute, which is a rinseless wash. I'm going to use that first on the outside of the glass because it is still dirty. And as you'll see, the car needs to be washed, but they're going to be washing it later, and we're focusing on glass today. So I want to make sure to get all the dirt from the outside of the glass off before we actually jump into the glass cleaner. So we are going to grab our spray bottle of Absolute, our clay scrubber, and a towel to dry it up. And we're going to come back here. And so as you can see, outside of the glass is dirty, the inside's dirty. We've got dog nose prints, all that kind of stuff. So first I want to clean the outside of the glass. So I'm just going to get it pretty wet just to make sure we get all the dirt off there. You can use a clay scrubber if you feel like you need, just to get any contamination off the glass. Contamination when it comes to glass cleaning is actually a big deal, because if you have bits of contamination on there, that's why your towel is streaking in the end. So always nice just to knock it down with a quick clay scrub. And then we're going to dry that off just to get the dirt off the outside of the window. All right, and then I do have favorite methods to clean glass that I promise will help you leave it streak free. So now we are going to grab our glass cleaner, a microfiber sponge. This can be any sponge, it doesn't have to be a fancy one. The one thing about this though is I do like to use dedicated sponges for my glass cleaning only. This just helps with making sure that you don't have contamination in the sponge or accidentally swapped it with something that had like a dressing on it. So I generally do have dedicated glass sponges. And then the FTW is my favorite glass towel. This is a twist loop, and it tends to just be super absorbent, non-linting, and does a great job at leaving it streak free. Now, I am going to clean the inside of the glass first. Regardless of how I wash a car, detail, or I'm cleaning glass, I generally always start on all of the interior glass, just so that I don't have extra unwanted dirt in my sponge in case I run into some on the outside that didn't get cleaned off during the normal wash process. So we're going to put this down. Now, everything I do is in a box method. So what we're going to do is we're going to saturate the sponge with the glass cleaner first. So I'm not going to spray it directly on here. The reason for that is just to protect any of the plastics, or, you know, if I had already dressed this, cleaned this, I'm not going to get any glass cleaner on the plastics. So I spray it directly on the sponge. And then this is kind of my trick for streak-free glass, is what we're doing here is we saw there's dog nose prints and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to get that on my towel, because what happens if you clean with the towel and you keep going over it, you're kind of just streaking that matter back and forth across the glass. That's why we use the sponge. So using the box method, I'm going to kind of trim out the glass, and you can see now this is transferring that glass cleaner onto the glass, and the sponge, we're using that to scrub all of those dog nose prints, fingerprints, you know, dust, whatever, off the surface. And so you can see how that dirt kind of collects around there on the sponge. Now the dirt is trapped in the sponge, not in your nice clean towel. Now we are just going to go back over the excess of the glass cleaner, and you'll see it really just takes one wipe and it dries absolutely streak free. I'm going to go ahead and flip that, go one more time over it in the same box method, and you literally have perfectly streak-free clean glass. This is the only way I clean glass. Then if we move to the outside, using the same box method, I always go back over all the exterior glass. Super easy, just to make sure that we get anything that was left over from the washing, drying process, and then again, like that streak-free glass. And on the outside, how we used the clay, we didn't leave any contamination behind for dirt and debris to stick later. And there we have it, nice streak-free glass. Now that I've showed you how to do the side glass, let's tackle the biggest challenge in detailing, which is the front windshield. Again, the Jeep is very dirty. We're gonna be washing it later. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna focus on the glass, just like we did on the side glass, You're gonna obviously lift up the windshield wiper because generally speaking, it's the dirtiest right down here. So I'm going to clean this area again with our diluted Absolute. We'll get some of that major dirt off of there. Now we are gonna do a 50-50 so that you can see the difference between clean and dirty, which now that we have the outside of this clean, we can see that maybe the dog actually gets up in here, right? So now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna clean that interior before re-cleaning the exterior. We're gonna clean the front windshield. I would move the ducts, but they are actually taped down, so I'm gonna have to go around them. So again, we have our microfiber sponge. We're gonna saturate that with some glass cleaner. And since we're doing a 50-50, we're gonna go just to the halfway mark. And we're gonna scrub all those fingerprints, dog nose prints, dust off the surface. And when you're doing this, you can actually feel when there's like matter on the glass like that, you can feel when it's finally broken free and it's off. And then we're gonna take our FTW, go back over the same area. We're gonna have to go back and concentrate around those ducts a little bit. All right, so we're gonna get all that cleaned up. There's some magic that happens when you're using this method with the sponge. It just evaporates and it wipes up so much easier. You're not just continuing to fight with that glass cleaner. All right, so we're gonna get that all cleaned up and then we're gonna hop out and check out our 50-50. I'm gonna reload my sponge, just get it a little bit wetter since we're on the outside now. We're gonna go right back over this area. This glass does have some pitting and some bug marks absolutely burned in, but we're gonna get it as clean as possible. All right, go back over with the FTW. And I hope you guys can see that, how it literally just wipes up that glass cleaner and makes it so easy and streak free. Now we see how the outside is all clean, and I do want you to notice, so my towel's a little bit dirty, but the majority of our dirt and debris is stuck in the sponge, which makes this really nice. So obviously this car's a little bit dirtier, but what's nice is you can usually get like a couple cars out of one sponge if the windows aren't too dirty. I just have found that having this dirt stuck here rather than in your towel that you're continuing to go over the surface with, that's how you get the secret to streak free. All right, so now we are done cleaning the glass. We can see on our 50-50, huge difference. You know, there's lots of dog nose prints, streaks, smears, that makes it very hard to see. This side looks great, minus our pitting that is clearly from off-roading, which this Jeep was built for, so that is to be expected. I hope you guys learn a little bit more about getting streak-free glass, which is seriously one of the most frustrating things. If you've never used a sponge before, I would love it if you'd go try it out and then let me know how it went in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned right here for more tips.